Hello, my name's Duncan, and welcome to Back Away from the Donkey and Baft Books. This is the first of, I put a thing up on my community tab the other day, seeing anybody interested in a shelf tour. And what it was I got a bunch of books from the man, the myth that is Sean Standfast the other day, and I need to make more shelf room. And also I could do with sort of sorting my shelves out. Hello. Sorry, my nugget, my little... Yeah, come up. No, she's not going to come up. One of my dogs is trying to visit me. See if you're banging down. But yes, so I've got a bunch of books and I need to make shelf room. So I thought I could do I need to sort these books out. And also I've just got an app for iOS on my iPhone that will log all my books, but also tell me where they are on the shelves. So I thought I'd give that a go as well. It's quite an interesting app. It doesn't do any community sort of stuff that like Goodreads does, but it will do. And so far, all the books I've scanned on it, all the UK editions have been there, even though the old ones. But anyway, so in this room I've got, this room's like an office spare room, what have you, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 big bookshelves with a mixture of stuff. And I reckon it probably, if I did about a shelf a week, would take me 30 weeks, but hoping to get sort of one a week done. So I thought I'd start today because I'm in the middle of editing a bunch of videos that are taking me longer than I thought, and it's all getting a bit confusing. Wait, don't hit the camera, you. Wait, sorry, the Sharpay's hitting the camera. Lilu, stop it. He's hitting the camera, so there's some jiggery pokery. That was why. So yes, so I'm starting today with one of the outlier shelves, and I said if you want to see, I'm not going to include the books that Sean sent me last week, so if you want to see those, I will put a link to the video up there and probably the end as well. So you can go and see that one. You can see what he sent me, some really interesting, especially science fiction reference books. This shelf is a bit of an outlier shelf. It's got sort of a mixture of bits and stuff I've got double things of and what have you. So it's probably a bit more than I will probably do in a complete sitting going forward. Does that make sense? So as we jump straight into it, I will turn around and grab a few books and I will start showing you what they are. Okay, so the first one on this shelf was Monty Don Nigel, which is about his love for dogs, and as you know, I like dogs. So it was a good book. I read it last year. I mentioned it in a video. I don't think I did a separate video on it, but if you're into dogs and stuff like that, it's well worth a read. Where am I going to put these books now? I didn't think this through. I did not think about where I'm going to put these books. Pop it over there. Second one, It's Like This Cat. This is a children's book that I remember from many, many years ago, and it's just sort of in my collection. And it's about a boy growing up in sort of early 60s New York. And it's a fun little book. It's an easy read, and it won awards, and every now and then I reread it because it's just a memory book for me. Don't sniff the books. Okay, I'm going to put them down there away from you. Got a bit of a cat section now. Some Derek Longden books. The Cat Who Came In From the Cold. Derek Longden was a great writer. He wrote about cats and his life, and these are all really interesting books. He only died a couple of years back. I've got that one. I've also got I'm a Stranger Here Myself. He's just a very, very good writer. So if anybody knows any Derek Longden, so that's those books. So, one more cat book, but not by Derek Longden. I have never read this book. I've actually got a hardback copy of it as well, which is A.N. Wilson, Stray. Sorry, I like cats, I like dogs, I like animals. But yeah, I hope people are going to find this interesting, because I find it interesting what people have on shelves. And now I'm just going to grab more of a handful. I said this shelf is more an outlier. If you want all the science fiction content, that'll be coming in a few weeks probably. But I don't know whether I'm going to go for all the non-science fiction stuff first anyway. Copy of Marley and Me. Hasn't everybody got a copy of Marley and Me? Every dog owner must have a copy of Marley and Me. It's a fun book to read. I enjoyed it. Yanni Prue. Shipping news. Never read it. Keep meaning to read it. Never get around to it. Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. Picked this up. It was in her local charity shop, and I really enjoyed the film. I'm obviously not a target market for it, but I haven't got around to reading it yet, as with a load of books. good bit of Jack Higgins. Touched the Devil. This one's based around the Falklands War. So I found this recently. Let's see, covered. I found this recently. I read quite a bit of Jack Higgins in sort of the early 80s, and it sort of brought back memories, and it was in the charity shops I picked up. Arthur Hailey Airport, a book I keep meaning to get around to. I read Hotel a couple of years back, and that is a really, really good book, but I'm not going around to Airport. Another Arthur Hailey one, The Evening News. As in a former life, I used to be a printer. I think this one's going to be quite interesting. I've not read it. The sticker on there is Hammocks, which is a bookshop that no longer exists, and it used to be in the south of England. And I found this in a charity shop here, which is off the top of the north of Scotland. So this has travelled from the early 90s, and it's ended up here in Orkney, at 59 degrees north. Okay. Alex Haley's Roots. Another book found locally. Another one I keep meaning to read. Never get around to. One do. Well, we'll get some books I read soon. Honest. An Evil Cradling. Brian Keenan's account of when he was in Beirut and he was kidnapped and he was kept for about 4 years along with Terry Waite. It is a fantastic book. If you get a chance to read that, read it. Bill Bryson, Short History of Time. I've got 2 copies of this, and it's a book that I keep meaning to get around to. I never do. You can hear that a lot. In the early 90s, because I was moving around, I said I used to be a printer in a previous life. Then I went off back to university, and I moved around the country a lot. I moved something like 20 odd times in 18 years or something. And so I got rid of loads of books. And I've been slowly picking them up and replacing them with the editions I used to have over the past few years. So that's why you'll find weird things going on with some of this sort of collection. I said I've got some books in boxes and on other shelves over there in the other rooms, and some boxes stored away. And I've almost got a bigger collection of DVDs, Blu-rays as well, if anybody's ever interested to see that. Anyway. Okay. Andre Norton, Echoes in Time. Not read it. I've read the odd Andre Norton short story. Never read much of her work. Craig Thomas, Firefox Down. I read Firefox many, many years ago. Found this locally. And it's got this weird printed on price sticker, which is really, really strange. Sorry if I keep looking over there. I've just got this new setup that I've got a thing on my computer that I can actually see what's been filmed. I must stop looking over there, and I do it to initially set this up to make it easier so I don't have to keep going behind and seeing what I'm recording and stopping and starting. Does that make sense? But anyway, some more books. Okay, we've got 3 books here. There's actually not a huge amount left, really. This is, I have, by Gina Moll, Clan of the Cape Bear. The Valley of the Horses, and The Mammoth Hunters. I think there's another 2 books in the series. They're set at a time when Neanderthals are around, but obviously Homo sapien is taking over. It's obviously historical fiction, some based on archaeology. They're a really good read, though I will say there is some bizarre sex scenes in them, and I'm of the opinion that sex scenes never add anything to a book, especially graphic ones, unless it's meant to have. They don't add anything to a book, and I normally just skip them, but these are in here. And when I originally read these books as a 14, 15-year-old boy, they were rather scripted for me. But these are good books, but yeah, some really gratuitous sex scenes in there which I'll skip over. Well, I would. So yeah, so that's the Clan of the Cape Bear. There was a film of the Clan of the Cape Bear which I vaguely remember seeing, had Daryl Hannah in, and I can't remember how good it was, but maybe it wasn't that good because I can't remember it. Anyway, chuck those over there. Oop. So as I said, this is all Sean's fault. I'm aiming for this. So I've got a few Eddings books. I've Bulgaria does like some of my sort of fondly remembered fantasy books, and I got them and I reread them occasionally. I've not read any of the other what to do with it, but I've picked up overall Domes of Fire, which is from another series of Tamuli or something, which one day I will read. And I've got The Treasured One by David Eddings, and I've also got doubles of the books, because Bulgaria books are on the bookshelf over there, but for some reason I have a copy of Castle of Wizardry and a copy of Magician's Gambit, which are like newer versions that I've picked up locally, which maybe I should get rid of, because why do I need doubles of those? Certain books I like doubles of, but why of those? But yes. And then I've got, this is another one I've got doubles of. This is Terry Brooks, Elfstones of Shannara. All my Shannara books are over the top there, and I think I've got all of them, or most of them. And this is another one I've picked up, and for some reason I've got a couple of, I don't know. Maybe I should get rid of these doubles. Tell me, should I get rid of these doubles that I don't really care about? Well, I do care about the books, but I've got copies of them, so yeah, maybe I should. Because I need shelf room. I do need shelf room. And next we get into a sort of espionage section, and these are the last few books. I've got 3 Days of the Condor, which is an excellent thriller. It's quite a short book, 156 pages. Film is great, but the book is excellent. Who wrote it again? James Grady. Yeah, because the film is 6 Days of the Condor. The book is 3. I don't know why they changed the number, but they did. Now, this is a collection of James Bond books that I picked up locally, and I've never really read any Fleming. Weirdly, the only sort of James Bond I read are ones that were like novelisations of his films. So out of these, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The only one I've read is actually the one that hasn't got a cool 70s cover, which is the first one, Casino Royale. I read that, wasn't overly impressed with it. I've got on the channel here, I've got somewhere me talking about it, and I keep meaning to get around to the rest of them because I've been told they get better. So I will show you these. These are great 70s covers with weird women draped over huge guns. Yes, honest. So we've got Thunderball there. From Russia with Love. You Only Live Twice. Dr. No. Live and Let Die. And finally, Goldfinger. I said weird covers really. So yeah, so that's that shelf. The shelf one. So that's my first week of it. I probably will next time do. I've got a shelf up here which is basically mainly full of Penguin and Oxford Classics. So I'll probably do that for my next shelf. But I said I'm going to slowly have a sort out. I'm going to scan these all into this app. If anyone's interested in me doing something on this app, I could probably do something. Just a little video, but it's called Book Buddy. If nobody's seen it and you're on iOS, it's only on iOS, so any Android users are buggered. But it's a one-off payment. It costs, what was it, $5.99, unless you want to share your library, which then you have to do a subscription to it. But the one-off payment, $5.99, is cheap enough. But you can try it out and do it on 50 books, I think. But for me, it's well worth doing it, because if I can at least have a log of all my books here, that would be great. So yeah, so that's the first part of the shelf tour. Probably not as slick as Gavin, who I stole the idea off of. But that's it, all done. And I said, if you want to see what books I'm not included, which are the ones that Sean gave me the other day, that's a link at the end, and I put one up there earlier anyway. Anyway, I'll speak to you all very soon, and I should have some videos coming at the weekend, all to do with Filmtastic February. But I will speak to you all very soon, and I've gone a bit rambly on this one. Bye for now.